Welcome to another episode of the Modern Black Man Podcast. I'm really excited.
The Modern Black Man Podcast.
Absolutely, absolutely blessed to have my guest
The
this
Modern
week,
Black Man
Mr.
Podcast.
Von Michael. Von, thank you for making the time. I would love to just do a long, bloviated introduction because you have so many credentials, but I'm actually interested in hearing how you would identify and introduce yourself. You are the man.
I will introduce my. Thank you for having me. I'm glad we were able to do this. Um, I'm happy to be here. Black Man Podcast. I'm happy.
Absolutely.
Modern day.
That's
Um,
right.
I was gonna say. I mean, first, my first job is I'm a porn artist. Um, nah, I'm a comedian. I'm a comedian.
I was gonna tell him if it's DVD straight to OnlyFans or if you in the digital lays, let him know.
Look, if I could be a porn artist, I ain't gonna lie to you, that'd be a nice stream of income. But I like to
A
just
lot
call
of money.
myself an artist. I'm an artist. I do comedy. I tell jokes. I am into film as well, sketch comedy. Starting to work on TV shows and stuff like that. So I'm an artist out of the Washington D.C. area.
And is there a genre that you would identify with your art?
I would say storytelling.
Okay.
A lot of storytelling is what I like to do. Yeah, I would say that's it.
Man, I have so many questions before we get deeper and deeper into you. But before we get to that, who influenced you?
Ooh.
Who was the comedian that gave you the aha moment, that gave you your sense of humor, that gave you, you know what I mean, the blueprint?
I'm sorry. I still have like a little bit of childishness in me. You said before we get deeper and deeper, and you all I could think was pause.
I was gonna say I need to say pause. My fault. My fault. Uh, but before we unfold the story, who was the one that gave you uh, the golden glow?
I would say Dave Chappelle, man. When I grew up, right, I remember watching the Chappelle show, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." And I'll be honest with you, I didn't think that I could ever do comedy. I thought it was something that you had to be born with. Like it was just like there were certain people that came out the womb and they were just funny. I didn't understand that there was a craft with it. Like you wanted jokes and like when you really learn about it, I don't think most people know this. Like most comedians, they don't see them until they really polish. Until like at least 10 years, they've been working on their craft, doing open mics and stuff for years. Um,
Constantly.
yeah, because like what's crazy is like Cat Williams is another influence of mine. I remember him telling stories, just be like, yeah, one day I wanted to try comedy, and then I just ended up at the Apollo, and he'd be like, yo, how the hell? So you telling me you just did it one time and you were just great? Um, but yeah, Dave Chappelle, um, Cat Williams, Dion Cole, and Ellen DeGeneres are my people I look up to.
That's dope. That's very diverse. What was your most awkward? We got to come back to all those people, but what was your most awkward comedic moment? You were talking about Cat Williams just getting thrown out there at Apollo. What was that broken cherry moment for you?
Probably the Apollo. The second time I did it, right? Cause all right, so the first time I did Apollo, I got third place. Second time I did it, right? Because Apollo is one of the toughest places to do comedy. Um, Most comedians that go there get booed.
Yeah,
Let's do that. So when I went up there the second time, I'm feeling myself. I'm going up there, and the people are booing me, and it was blowing my mind. And the shit was so crazy. Like I just didn't want the Sandman to come because I was like I didn't want to have to tell my friends and family that the Sandman got me off
it's
stage.
tough.
So what I did is the people were booing, and I just wrapped up my set early and got off stage before the Sandman came. So I was like, at least I didn't get booed. I can't tell nobody that I got Sandman. But this is what
Yeah,
I didn't know. If you don't get the Sandman at the end of the show, anybody who didn't get the Sandman has to come back on stage because the audience has to vote for you. So at the end, I had to come back on stage, and then they like call your name, and then they say the audience make noise if you like this person, right? So they
Yeah.
did the first person, did the second person, I'm the third person. They called my name up, bro. The crowd is booing me for a second time during the thing.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, the meter goes just off of noise. So boo or no boo, it goes up. So they boo me so loud, bro. I got second place in this competition.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
They was trying to put the thumbs down, but they ended up pushing the man up.
yeah. Haters work.
That's tough. So you end up getting second,
Hmm.
third, and second place.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. So I mean, that's like a championship. That means you certified. You didn't been through the toughest arena on earth, and you emerged a gladiator. As far as your goals in the future, before we go back to your comedic heroes, uh, what would that goal be? Is that Madison Square Garden for Von Michael? Is that Netflix special? Uh, Kennedy Center.
Those are all great goals. Honestly, right now my goals is to get the Von Michael sketch show profitable and on whatever biggest platforms I can get it on while still keeping 100% ownership. I'm more focused on just getting an audience. Like the sketch show that I have now, I want to keep ownership of that, and that's going to be like a 20-year project. So that, and then eventually getting a TV deal for like another TV show and getting that like on like either HBO or Netflix or something. Stand up wise, I want to be torn eventually, headlining A clubs, then eventually doing theaters, and eventually doing arenas. So I would say those would probably be my biggest goals.
I want to slowly unpack that because the next question I'm about to ask is about your writing style. I hope that it comes from these comedic influences. That's I don't know, the future that I see in the world of comedy. I really want to get better at writing, to have a sketch show, to be in some kind of syndication, all the things that you're forward viewing. How do you sharpen that axe? What do you do? Because obviously it's writing, but like, what do you do to understand that world? Because it's progressed, and I see how the biggest names are doing it, and I can't even get my toe wet.
Honestly, it's just like kind of just practicing your craft every day. Like before I got on here with you, I was at a show tonight working on a set of new material. Like I literally just in the last this year, I think so far I've written a new 10 minutes, and by the end of the year I want to write a new 25 minutes. And it's just like getting up for me 5 nights a week. So my day starts off, I write 4 hours a day, and then yeah,
Wow.
and that's between stand up and like sketches. And then at night, I have to go out and do shows, and I'm trying to do 2 sets a night, 5 nights a week. So it's like, and then when I go do them sets in the city, it's just like working on new stuff, polishing it up, and just constantly doing it over and over and over again. Um, so like next year, I want to drop an album next year. So like this year, I'm working on a new set, perfecting it, getting it polished, torn with it, so that next year I can record it and drop it.
4 hours a night, two sets a night, 5 nights a week. Who is the person that's responsible for this, like, momentum? Like, that's a hustle, a grind, a vision, a monster. That what? Yeah, influence wise, where does that come from? Who you matching?
I played football growing up, so like I understand how like on football, if you wanted to get better, you had to keep practicing, you had to be in the weight room, you had to go work out, you had to watch film. So I apply all them things into comedy. Like, all right, how am I going to perfect and get better at this craft? And so it's like, all right, I need to write. Like you, literally, like when I'm on stage right now, I could feel myself. I think I've been doing comedy with like 7 years. I could feel myself reaching like a new level. It's almost like playing a video game. How you reach new levels. Like I feel myself on stage being more comfortable, delivering the jokes better. Um, yeah, my stage presence is getting so much better. So it's just applying what I've learned in previous things to comedy.
I don't want to say that you're on steroids, but I can see the development, right? I can see how you get bigger, faster, stronger, and Jose Canseco is you know what I mean? Like you stacked on the muscle, and now you know how to hit the long ball. And you got everything set up. You know who's pitching, and I think you know how to anticipate these pitches. You have the Von Michael sketch show, which I have pulled up on Amazon. I've seen clips of it and things like that, and I want that to grow as well, as I am new to YouTube, and you got some good content. You got some funny sketches, and it looks like there's a whole world of Von Michael. Can you describe that world? Because I think some people, when they get on Amazon and they get hot to it, they're gonna want to be included, and they're gonna buy the content that's out there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, so like the sketch show, so the way that the format of the show is like during the pandemic I was doing this series I filmed on my phone. It was called Coping. And it was just like this guy named Vaughn living with a roommate and working a job. And
Yeah.
so I have like sketches in between these storylines. They were like 15, 20-second videos. And so like I have a storyline going and in between that storyline is sketches throughout the show. And so eventually, what I really want to do is turn them short videos into a TV show. Like that's the long game. Um, so yeah, so that I got that the different characters, the roommate, I got the landlord, the co-workers. It's pretty dope.
I'm gonna ask you about that because you said you're gonna turn into a sitcom. Um, as far as the sketch show, are you finding places where you're more popular, like South Africa, or are you finding markets where you didn't think that you would be as relevant as you are?
Not yet, because we
No.
haven't really like put too much money behind the marketing right now. It's just kind of growing in the DMV area because that's where like the main focus has been at. But once we start pushing it out more, I probably will see where that's at. I need to look at TikTok. I really haven't went through and read the demographics on TikTok. Um,
Well, aren't they about to ban it in America? TikTok's about to get yeah. If that's the case.
it's about to get banned again.
Yeah. They're talking about they have to ban it, and it's so, I would love to do a whole episode on it. It's pretty wild, like it's fear. But yeah, that's Congress, and I almost want to say it's in the state of Texas where I'm at now. They're doing some other extra stuff to keep the devil out of the kids' hands.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yes, the Von Michaels sketch show is firmly established on Amazon. I hope anybody that has the opportunity can check that out. You're super active, actually doing comedy in sets. I know when I was in DC, I would mostly do things like Busboys and Poets and find little gigs that I can kind of get in. Um, are you at the point now where you're targeting some of the gigs that you're doing or geographically? Because I thought you lived in Richmond. Sound like you got it nice where you can kind of dip to DC, live right.
I used to live in I used to live in Richmond. I live in DC now because it's a
Okay,
bigger
cool.
market.
Yeah.
But I always go back to Richmond sometimes, do comedy and stuff like that. Eventually, what I want to do is to get my show. Well, what we're going to do, I think by the end of this year, we're going to get the show I have in DC, the sketch show, also in Richmond. Because we first Sundays in DC, and I think we're going to do like first either Fridays or Saturdays in Richmond to have like make it a full weekend. Um, But gig wise, I do everything. Like I was just on tour last week. We did like the whole
Yeah.
Midwest. I pretty much
Wow.
travel everywhere.
You're not
And
just doing 95. I was gonna be like excited, like, man, you could go to Delaware, you could go to Philly. You really doing it. You like, nah, bro. Like I was in Cincinnati and like
bro, what was that last one we did? Cleveland was kind of fun. We did Cleveland. We did
you like Lake
Indianapolis.
Erie? Are you single?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Lake Erie area might be good to you right now.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's tough. No, I think that that's the goal, and I mean you're at least 7 years into that to the lifestyle, and I think that I've told you before you inspired me because uh, it is possible. You know what I mean, and I want to see more people be exposed to your comedy, and I'd love to see your brand grow. I appreciate you so much for taking the time to get with me and chop it up with me a little bit. I'm out here trying this YouTube thing for the first time, coming out of the podcast world. I'm about to wrap up this first season, and season 2 we're gonna be a little bit bigger and better. But the first season is always that sentimental season. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm glad you're sticking with it, man. That's the biggest thing as I'm learning. I guess we all learn. It's just like sticking with it. We know things come up, things happen, but it's just like don't give up. Don't give up. Your brand gonna keep building as long as you stick with it.
bro, it's life. It really is because no one sees it in the time because it is so painful because things are crushing and whatever it is, but surviving, making it to the other side and continuing on, it definitely is rewarding. It's so rewarding. Hearing something like that, man, that's received. I appreciate the word so much. um Absolutely, I appreciate that. Anything to kind of keep that motivation, that fire going, the passion's there. So I appreciate that very much.
No doubt.
Yeah. Um, like I said, anything that we can do on this side, we want to support Von Michael, all his projects. You know that we got a lot more content coming up. We're on all platforms. Got the podcast rolling and popping again. Gonna keep it complementing each other, keep it growing. We got the website, themodernblackman.com, that's gonna be updated later this year. Um, Nothing but great things in our future. Um, Vaughn, thank you for taking the time. Until the next episode.
Thank you. Have a good night. Peace.
Peace.